you had a wonderful time having some hors d'oeuvres, some drinks. We're going to do it all over again afterwards. No, not really. We're going to have some good desserts and coffee. So then you have a chance to meet our recipients of the awards and their families, and we'll take some great pictures. So I'm so glad you're here. It's always a pleasure. This is my favorite time of year, as I always say each year, because it is, when we recognize our alums and the wonderful things that they're doing in their lives and in their communities all over the states and the world, really. So at this time, I'm going to do something. We're going to make history, as far as I'm concerned. If you would please stand and join me and grab your program and look in the front of it where it has the alma mater. We're going to say the alma mater together. Some of you probably have never seen it, and that's okay. But this is the official alma mater. So if you would please stand, and we'll say it together in unison. I feel like I'm directing the choir. All right, you ready? On hallowed ground where patriots wage their strife, here yet today we seek to earn our freedom's rights. Our knowledge leads to a quest for truth and light. By achieving goals, we discover purpose for our lives. Our future shines before us bright and clear. You give to us the wisdom and the guidance here. We'll build a world for all to revere. Our thanks is due to you, our alma mater dear. Thank you. Have a seat. At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Fred Carter, President of the university, to come up and say a few words. Dr. Carter.
You know, this is very nice. Is there an envelope I'm supposed to open? Let me take just a second and acknowledge Julian. Does he do a great job with this or what? On behalf of the university community, I'm really pleased to extend a cordial welcome to everybody here tonight, especially the alumni in the crowd. You know, this facility has been open now almost 4 years, and it's hosted a couple of hundred events and performances in those 4 years. But none of those events do a better job of telling the FMU success story more than the annual Alumni Gala. We now have 20,120 alums, 83% of whom call South Carolina their home. Of course, with each successive decade, these alums have become more influential in shaping the economic, the cultural, and the political environment across their communities, within the state, and across their nation. This alma mater has waited a long, long time for our alums to have this level of influence. We've waited precisely 45 years. Now the performance is matching the promise. And tonight, these 4 very distinguished recipients further this legacy. Debbie and Stacey and Brad and Emily truly fulfill the greatest expectations that our founders had 4.5 decades ago. And tonight, we're all very proud of their accomplishments as we sit back and celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Carter. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to our Vice Chairman or Vice President of the Alumni Association, Craig Bailey. Come on up, Craig.
Thank you for letting me take a few minutes here to say a few words to you. As Julian mentioned, I'm Craig Bailey. I'm not the president of the association. I'm the vice president, president-elect. President is Kathy Hustis, and I wanted to recognize her and her efforts. She could not make it today. She is on business travel. I think it was Denver. Was it Denver? Yeah, I think in Denver. So she may actually be on her way back now. But so I'm going to stand in for her today. And it is certainly a distinct pleasure to do so, especially on an occasion like this. Dr. Carter, I loved your words there, and really, truly, it's a case where, as I sort of thought of the few minutes of the things I wanted to say, it literally echoes many of the things that you say. I think it ties in quite closely there. But I certainly want to welcome everyone there. As here, I see some members of the Board of Visitors here. I see the alumni board members are out there as well. I've met a few of those. The students, the other alumni that are here as well. If you got a chance as you came in, you saw some young folks that were helping direct you. That's the Student Alumni Association as well. So to recognize their efforts and the fact that they're contributing to this event as well. So. I want to take a minute and say a few things here. The first thing is that this is not only an opportunity, at least I see this, not only as an opportunity to celebrate the accomplishments of some great alumni here, but it's also an opportunity for us to celebrate some of the efforts that have gone on this past year in terms of the alumni and the alumni board. So some fantastic efforts here. The Alumni Board, the Alumni Affairs, Julian have worked really hard, and you may or may not know this, but there's been a significant increase in the number of paying members, dues-paying members of the Alumni Association, which is just fantastic. We're not where we want to be. We need to be doing better than where we are, and we are looking for great things for next year, certainly. Before we get to the fun stuff, I do want to tie in again. Dr. Carter mentioned a few things. I will tie in a few things here. And that is, why is this important? Why do we care about this? I drove here from Greenville. I drove 3 hours. Why did I take the time to come here and do this? And I'll sum it up in a few items here. First, some of you may or may not know, I am a colonel in the Marine Reserves. If you all know anything about the Marines are experts at pomp and circumstance and formal occasions. We do this professionally, as it were. So we know that there's something important about it, and because we do it because it is important. Likewise, a university does the same thing. A university has things like graduations. And we, as humans of our culture, we recognize the fact that when we stop and take a little bit of time to do something formally, it is something that's important to us. And that's exactly what we're talking about tonight. We're doing something important. So the question is, why is this important? Now, I'm going to give you my view of why I think this is important. Well, first, it certainly is to show the honorees that we really, truly admire what you have done. So we have a formal occasion to mark that. We have a formal occasion literally to say that at least that what you did was worth pursuing and to honor your accomplishments. That's certainly one of the things that we do. But another reason that we do this, and it's maybe a little self-serving, but it certainly comes full circle back to the university. Let me tie this together for you. And that is, the alumni are perhaps maybe you would call it the biggest, largest outreach effort of any university. We're the guys and gals out there in the community digging every day. We're very visible. In many ways, I sometimes call it we're the ambassadors for the university. We're the representatives. Therefore, when we do something well, rightfully so, many times the university can benefit from that. The university can also get the accolades. Now we all well know what happens when things don't go quite so well sometimes. It doesn't shed a good light on not only the university, but the folks that work there at the university, the students at the university, and the alumni. And sometimes it will bring down the value of the work that I did. So the other reason we take this time here is to celebrate this is because we want to show that there is some value in being an alumni of this university. I, from my perspective, certainly think of it as a value. So that's the other reason that we do this today. With that, why don't we get to the awarding of the awards?
It brings me great joy and pleasure as I get to know the recipients through time when the executive committee and the various boards choose the nominees that people have sent, and we meet and over lunch and talk about them and look at their bios and their accomplishments and what they brought to their community and to their life. And we're very appreciative. We get to know them very intimately, and then the phone calls start and the excitement and the date and planning and a lot of logistics, all to come together tonight on a actually cool night, but it's not snowing or raining, so that's a good thing. But we're here to enjoy the fellowship of people like you and I who enjoy our communities where we live and we work and raise our families. And these four here are doing great work all over, not just South Carolina, but in places like DC as well. And we are thankful that they could take the time. I have quite an interesting board on the Alumni Association. It used to be that we tended to attract board members only from the PD area, specifically in Florence, Darlington, Hartsville, Marion. And then slowly but surely I was able to reach out and find some really neat people like Craig in the upstate and I said, here's the commitment. Once a quarter, come on a Friday and meet for lunch and then be here for 3 or 4 hours. And we'll do business. And then you can either go to the beach and have a good time or you can go back home. And I've got people at the coast, Charleston, Greenville, Spartanburg, that have come and have been a part, Newberry, have been a part of our board for the last couple of years and doing a phenomenal job, very committed, and the rest of them from the PD area to bring you wonderful programs, exciting opportunities to fellowship and to work with our Young Alumni Advisory Council as well and to network professionally. So tonight we recognize these four. And I'd like to begin tonight saying a few words, and then I'll let the videos that you'll see introduce them even better, and they'll introduce themselves that way. For the Benjamin Wall Ingram III Young Alumnus Award, Emily Brandenburg McMillan, class of 2010, is our recipient tonight. Emily received the Bachelor of Arts in Political Science from Francis Marion in 2009, and is a third-year law student at the Law School at the University of South Carolina. And prior to that, enrolling in law school, she served as the event coordinator for Governor Nikki Haley and assistant to the First Gentleman. She's a research editor for the ABA Real Property Trust and Estate Journal, a member of the Moot Court Bar, and vice president of the Pro Bono Board. She's won numerous awards as a law student and worked as a law clerk for the Honorable Jean Hiffer Toll and at the law office of Sweeney, Wingate, and Barrow. So after she graduates in the spring, Emily plans to work as an associate at the law firm, and she is specializing in the areas of estate planning and appellate advocacy. Emily and her husband, John, who's a 2014 MBA graduate, both reside in Columbia. We're glad they're here, but I'd like for you to hear from Emily.
I attended FMU from the fall 2006 until spring 2010, and my major was political science. Currently, I am a law student at the University of South Carolina School of Law. I'm a law clerk at Sweeney, Wingate, and Barrow, where I specialize in estate planning and appellate advocacy, and hopefully will continue to pursue those areas after graduation. I enjoy running, I enjoy shopping, going out with girlfriends to different restaurants in Columbia, and I love to travel with my husband. I'm a very proud alumni of Francis Marion, and while I was there for 4 years, I couldn't have been a prouder student. The faculty, Dr. Carter, the coaches, everyone just embraces each student on campus and gives them every opportunity to excel. Anything that I had envisioned, the staff and faculty helped me get there. They provided so many opportunities for me to get to the next step. So I am where I am today because of Francis Marion. Winning the Young Alumni Award is really exciting for me because it shows that I still have a connection to Francis Marion and that Francis Marion is still involved in my life and what I'm doing. I'd really like to thank my parents, my husband, Dr. Carter, Dr. Waters, the staff, the faculty, and all the coaches in the athletic department at Francis Marion. I am a very proud alumni of Francis Marion. I'm a very proud Patriot, and it excites me to win this award tonight.
Congratulations, Emily. In the past, what we have looked at when we started to award various people in various stages of life, we started looking at the industry, the professional industries that they found themselves working in. And with Dr. Carter's leadership and the staff of the development office, we came together and worked hard at finding some unique awards that we call the Professional Industry Achievement Awards in various things. Tonight, we're going to celebrate Mr. Bradley Sponic, graduate of 2004. Bradley is a Bachelor of Arts in Theater Arts from Francis Marion. He received a Master's of Education in Literacy from Walden University, and he's expected to graduate with another Master's in Education and Educational Leadership from Arkansas State University this spring. He's been employed by Florence School District 1 since 2008. He's been teaching theater arts program at Williams Middle School and began teaching over in Marion County. He's a frequent volunteer by acting, directing, and designing lighting at the Florence School Theater. You'll find him working with the theater's 7th through 12th grade program called Rising Star, which is a workshop that he does once or twice a year. Bradley resides in Florence. He has family from Charleston in the area. We're very, very proud of Bradley. I'd like to let you hear from Bradley now.
My name is Brad Sponic, and I teach theater arts at Williams Middle School. I love teaching. It's what I've always known that I've wanted to do since I was about 12 and realized that I was not actually going to play for the White Sox. It's very interesting and very exciting for me to get to challenge them and make them think in a more abstract way, which is what theater does. I also teach a workshop class at Florence Little Theater for 7th through 12th grade. I started that this year. Absolutely enjoyed all 4 years I was at Francis Marion. I started there in 2000, graduated in 2004. I majored in theater arts with collaterals in political science and psychology. I think about and reflect about my time there all of the time. It was an absolutely incredible experience. I had great teachers. I learned a lot. I met amazing people who are still, part of my life every day. Who I am as a teacher is in large part due to them. Winning this award is very humbling, and I guess that's a cliched thing to say. It's incredibly exciting to be awarded something by your university to say that you have served us well. Because again, I loved my time there. It was a great university. I'd go back again in a heartbeat if I could do it all over again. So for them to say that, to validate what I've done is very exciting and again, humbling.
Congratulations, Bradley. Public service and law. That encompasses an awful lot. You can imagine. Our next recipient, Stacey Brayboy, received her Bachelor of Science in Political Science from Francis Marion in 1994 and a master's degree in Public Administration from Clark Atlantic University. She is Chief of Staff for the Food and Nutrition Service at the United States Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C. She manages the daily priorities of the FNS. And previously, she served as Director of Economic and Community Development for Rural Development at USDA, as a member of the transition team for President Obama and Vice President Biden, Director of the Obama campaign in South Carolina and Virginia during the presidential primaries, and Deputy Director in Indiana and Virginia during the general election campaign, and Deputy Director of the Virginia Council on Human Rights. The list goes on. You can imagine when we saw her bio what we were thinking. She truly exemplifies work in the public sector in various ways with various agencies, and we're delighted that she's so well versed in what she does and does such a good job and represents the university in Washington. She does reside in Washington, D.C. with her daughter Madison Lily Philhauer Brayboy. I'd like you to meet Stacey Brayboy.
Hello, my name is Stacey Brayboy. I'm the Chief of Staff for the Food Nutrition Service with the U.S. Department of Agriculture here in Washington, D.C. I graduated from Francis Marion University in 1994. I majored in political science with a minor in psychology and sociology. Attending FMU was an exciting period of time. It's at Francis Marion where I honed my love and my passion for public service. Was very active, working in the Student Government Association, served as a senator, went on to serve as the Senate Pro Temp, and had the opportunity and the honor of serving the university in the student body as the Student Government Vice President. I grew up in Manning, South Carolina, and after attending Francis Marion University, I had a wonderful opportunity to come to Washington, D.C. to work in our nation's capital. I have a little girl, her name is Madison. Very exciting times for me, watching her grow from being a baby into a very active, and I do mean active 2-year-old. Work-life balance wasn't something that I focused in on a lot, but now that having her, I understand the importance of family and ingraining that in her and developing that relationship. Being able to be recognized from a university in which you credit so much in terms of your love and your passion about what has driven you in your career is very humbling. I would like to thank my family. I'd like to thank my wonderful professors there at Francis Marion, but most of all, I'd like to thank my grandmother for that season of my life at Francis Marion, the encouragement that she kept pushing me onward to continue my education and be the best that I could be.
Congratulations, Stacey. You can see by these alums that it runs deep. What is it that runs deep? It's the pride that they have in knowing the people who worked with them on a daily basis when they were in their college years really, truly worked with them and stayed by their side to guide and direct them. Sometimes good days, sometimes rough days. And they made it, and it's like I tell my son, I said, finishing something that you started means an awful lot. These men and women have finished, but they're not finished. They finished that degree, they finished other degrees, and now they're in a career that they're working diligently in, and in their communities they're being recognized, just as if we recognize them tonight, we'll send them back to those communities to do a great job and be proud to know that they can put FMU on their resume for sure. Tonight we have a very special Outstanding Alumnus that we award each year, and there's lots of reasons for that too. Not that we're not all outstanding, of course, but one in particular came across our desk and we looked at her bio and we decided this really needs to be recognized in a unique way, and it should come from the Alumni Association through this honor. Deborah Wyndham Hyler received a Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology from Francis Marion in 1982. She has been Executive Director of the School Foundation in Florence since 2006, and during her leadership, the School Foundation has funded and awarded more than $900,000 in grants to local public schools. Hyler is an accomplished organizer with more than 20 years of experience in community-related activities. In 2014, she was the recipient of the Mary Dean Brewer Woman of Distinction Award from the Girl Scouts of the Eastern South Carolina. She resides in Florence with her husband, Dr. Daniel Hyler, who is of the class of 1981, another FMU graduate. They have 3 children, Jonathan, Jennifer, and Julia. We're delighted to introduce you to Deborah W. Hyler.
Hi, my name is Debbie Hyler, and I'm the Executive Director of the School Foundation in Florence, South Carolina. I've been with the School Foundation for over 10 years now, and we support Florence School District 1 educators and students by providing grants for them. I think that education is really important for a successful community, and I love the fact that the School Foundation is helping many, many students receive a better education here in Florence. My husband is Dr. Danny Hyler. He graduated from Francis Marion in 1981. We have 3 children, Jonathan, Jennifer, and Julia, and 1 granddaughter, Ellie, who is 7. And we have been in Florence since Danny came back from medical school. I love being outdoors. I love going to the lake. I love gardening. I love to read. And of course, we do have a lot of family members here in Florence, and we try to spend as much family time as we can with them. I attended Francis Marion from 1978 until 1982, and I actually majored in medical technology. My first career was as a microbiologist at McLeod, so I've had quite the career change. Francis Marion has really evolved a lot since the early 1980s when I finished there. It's wonderful to see all the medical accomplishments, the nursing program, and now the new downtown medical facility. Those are just tremendous assets for the entire Florence community. I was very honored when Julian called me to let me know that I would be receiving this award. I've always worked very hard throughout my life, and so it's nice to feel appreciated for that hard work. I am very honored to receive this award, and I appreciate the university thinking of me. I also am thankful for my family and the support that they have given me as I have been working with the School Foundation over the last 10 years. I've spent a lot of hours at work and away from my family, and I just appreciate the support that they have given me. Julian, Craig, and Dr. Carter, I truly am honored to be the recipient of this award tonight, and I'm just so proud to be standing here and to have so many friends and family who were able to join us all here tonight. I am very proud to say that I'm a graduate of Francis Marion University. We had 4 great years at the university. Danny and I attended the university together. We grew a lot. We were so fortunate to have an absolutely wonderful faculty that worked many, many hours with us, and I think they really helped to instill the work ethic that Danny and I both have. Again, it's just a pleasure to be here. Dr. Carter, I want you to know how much I admire your leadership here at the university. Truly, Florence is blessed to have you and to have the university. I think all of the positive gains that this community has made, the university has just been a vital part of all of that, and I look forward to seeing what you're going to do in the future with the university as the city continues to grow. I do want to also just let the Alumni Association know, and you, Dr. Carter, you feel free to call on me. I will be here to support and do whatever I can in the coming years for the university. Thank you so much.
Well, once again, congratulations to our honorees. As I mentioned earlier, when you do well, we do well. And likewise, it's a validation for the work that everybody in this room does. It's a validation of the work that Dr. Carter mentioned earlier. It's a validation of the work that the staff does, that the students do, that the administration does, that the faculty does. So we thank you for that, certainly. I'll wrap it up with with a couple of little things. The first is, again, a round of applause, please, to Julian. And the entire Alumni as well. Last thing I'll ask you to do is join us in the lobby for some cake and coffee. I believe we may do a few photos, etc., with the honorees here. but they will then make their way to the lobby, and if you would just take some time to come up to each of them and congratulate them and introduce yourself and talk to them, we would appreciate it. So thank you everyone for coming, and have a safe trip home.